Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Improving Your Chess Calculation, where we solve as many chess puzzles as possible on Puzzle Rush Survival on chess.com. You can try to solve puzzles with me, or you can try to pause the video and try to find the best move. Eventually the puzzle gets harder from easy to hard, and it's going to be very much fun, and it's the best way to improve your chess calculation. So let's begin. Okay, so starting with absolute zero. So the best way here is always try to go for check captures threat. Check. If checks are not working, look for captures. I can capture the pawn. I can capture the knight. And if captures are also not working, then we can go for some threats ideas. Maybe I can play something like knight f3, attacking the rook. But here, at the very start, the puzzles are extremely easy. Just take stakes. You see, checkmate, check, checkmate, check, checkmate. It's okay. The starting puzzles are extremely easy. Nothing, nothing strong. Queen f7 is a check. I can capture the knight, and that's a mate. And now, always look for first check. If checks are not working, look for captures. If captures are not working, look for threats. Can I try to attack the queen? This is a threat. So yeah, here I can give a check. The king move. I can play this. Okay, I can actually give a check and rook g3. I think that's it. Yeah. So queen takes the pawn. Here I'm having two checks available, but if I play rook d1 check, the king can go to e2. So queen d1 is a checkmate. Queen into e6. So first queen into f2 check, followed by sacrificing the queen, and that's a mate. White push the pawn to g4. Here rook g to c6 is a mate because the king can run away if I give check to with the b rook. Okay, so here knight b3 and it's a mate. Queen goes to h4, and here I can start with a queen to a1 check because queen e1 check is already covered by the queen. So queen a1 check, the opponent is having two squares. If the king goes to f2, I can play queen f1, and that's mate because it's protected, yeah. And if the king goes over here, I can give a check, I can give another check, and that's a mate, yeah. Queen a1 check, takes, and that was a mate, yeah. So now we have bishop to d6. So here there are two checks available, which is rook e8 and knight to g6. Starting with rook e8, if the knight goes back, I can give a check. The knight goes over here, and I'm not sure what's happening. If I start with a knight check, the king goes over here. Then I can play bishop check, and I think it's a mate. Yeah, because if I give a rook check, the king can run away, yeah. Knight g6, bishop d5 is a mate, yeah. So now here, queen f2 check, and simply sacrificing the queen and doing the back rank mate. Bishop into h7. I think I can go for capturing the bishop. The queen goes over here, king g8, and I would be a piece up, I believe. And that's winning, yeah. Knight goes to e7, and knight f6 is a checkmate. d3, and I think queen d4 is a mate, yeah, queen d4, yeah. So we have rook to d8 and knight e7, I believe, knight e7. Knight e7, king h8, I can sack the queen, and I believe that's the mate, right? The knight can come in between, I can take. The king will run away. So, okay. It's not easy, but yeah, it is easy. Okay, knight e7 check for sure. The king goes to h8, I can sack the queen for the two pieces. Knight f8 and I can take it. King h7, that should be winning. That should be winning. Is there anything even better that is coming up? Can I play knight f6 check, but that's not winning. I think knight e7 check is the right way, yeah. And that's winning, yeah. Bishop f5. And here, looking for checks. Okay, I can give a check, but nothing is happening. Can I capture anything? I don't think, because the opponent will recapture it. Can I do some threats? Can I post any threats in the position? I can push the pawn, that makes sense. The king will come over here, I can push the pawn, and eventually this square is covered up by the bishop, and that's winning, yeah. So the rook goes over here, starting a check, bishop c3, and that looks like a mate, yeah. That's a mate. So queen into h7, and now queen g5 is a mate, yeah. The rook goes to e4, and now I believe bishop h2 check, because queen h2 is covered by the knight. So bishop h2, if king h1, I guess bishop g3, bishop f2 is a mate, so bishop h2 takes. and that's a mate. Yeah, bishop h2 check, takes, and that's a winning. Okay, so rook to b2. I can push the pawn and give a check. If the king goes, okay, the king is having three ways. If the king goes to, maybe starting with king c8. If king c8, I believe we can play the move b7, d7 check. The king goes over here, and we can put the rook over here, and he can't really stop us, and that looks winning. And okay, if he goes over here, then we can once again push the pawn, right? Nothing is happening. It still looks winning to me. Yeah, let's push. Knight to b7, and no one can stop us, and that's winning. Okay, so bishop into a1. So starting with queen d6 check, the king goes over here, bishop check, the king goes over here, the rook comes in between. We can take, and we can capture the queen, and that's more than enough to win the game, I believe. Yeah, it's completely winning. So rook to b7, and here just check, take the rook, and the endgame is winning because I just know it by the heart. That's winning because the king is in the front of the pawn, so it's technically winning. So bishop goes to c6, and now I think knight f6 check, the king goes over here. I can take the pawn, and the threat is bishop g7 mate, and he can't really stop us. Rook h7, bishop g7. There are two types of mate, and that's enough to win. Yeah. So queen into e5. So starting with checks, queen check, the queen goes back, and nothing is happening. Can I push the pawn, attacking the rook and the queen? That I win a piece, and that's winning, and that's more than enough to win. Yeah. So king goes back to e8, starting with checks. Knight d6 is a check, rook e1 is a check. Okay, starting with rook e1 check, the king goes to d7. I can play rook e7 check, and that's a mate. So yeah, I think rook e1 is good enough to win the game. Yeah, and that's a mate. So bishop into g2, starting with checks. There are two checks available in the position, queen g4 and queen g3. So if I start with, even I don't know, maybe queen g3 check. If the king goes to h8, I don't see anything happening. But wait a minute, I can simply capture the queen, and that looks winning to me. Yeah. So rook takes the pawn. You see, like many times the puzzle will try to confuse you, but the point here is you should not get confused, and you should just play the possession. And here it's a simple tactic. Rook takes the knight, takes, and we win the rook, and we would be a piece up. That's enough to win. So knight took the knight. Okay, I can take the pawn because the pawn is pinned by the pawn, and that's winning. So takes, and here I think bishop c6 check. Okay, wait a minute. Bishop c6 check, knight d7, and nothing is happening. Queen f7 is simply a mate. Once again, the computer will definitely try to confuse you, but you should not get confused. That should be the point. Knight g5. So there are two moves that I'm able to see. First, I can capture the queen, capture the knight with the queen. Second, I can take, and just some sacrifice, which I don't see working. I guess I can take. Basically, rook h7 would have been a mate. So h6, I can take the bishop, which also looks like a fine move to me. And anything happening up, that should be winning, I believe. Queen f6, yeah. Knight took the pawn on g6. And wait a minute, okay, how can we continue the position? Can I take the knight in the position? Which looks like winning to me. Okay, can I give check? I don't see any check. Can I capture anything? I can capture the knight. Can I pose any threats? I can play rook d5. I can play rook e4. Maybe, yeah. If I take queen h5 check, the queen goes back, takes, and that would be a mate. So capturing the rook knight doesn't make sense. I think first rook e4, capture the rook, and then take the knight. That makes sense. That makes a bit more sense, and that's winning, yeah. So bc6, and now what's the way to play? Can I sack the rook? Can I sack the rook and that's winning? Yeah, that's winning. Rook at checkmate, and that's winning. Okay. So bishop goes to c4, and now can I capture the knight with the rook? Because if I take. Okay, if take is winning. So he's going to take with the knight, and nothing is happening. So I think first take first. Okay, if I take the knight, he can take the knight, right? And if I take this, he will take this. I will take this. He will go here. I'll take this. And what he's getting? Like he's getting 9, a rook, queen, and the knight, which is 14, 17. I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, which is 10, 13, 16, which is winning technically speaking. It should be fine. It looks winning because knight c4, he's having knight c4, and I don't see anything happening up, and it should be. I think knight rook f5 looks fine to me. Yeah. Oh wow, I can even check the knight. Yeah, that's an intermezzo. Yeah. So bishop e7, and now starting with checks. I'm having queen b5 check, queen e6. I can take, and that's winning. The king goes over here, but that's winning. Yeah, queen. Yeah, it's winning. Yeah, it's too much winning. Yeah. So king goes over here, queen h5. Oh, okay, the queen is pinned up. Sorry. So rook g7 check. The rook is forced to go over here, and that looks like a mate to me. It's mate, right? Yeah, that's a mate. Check, check, and that's a mate. Yeah. So h4. I can give a check. The king goes over here, and where's the mate? I don't see the mate. Let's think. I want to play rook over here, but he's having this beautiful rook sacks, which I don't really want him to do it. Though I can play king h8, and he's not really having checks. He can play this, but that would lead to a rook loss. And I guess that's winning for me. I can go for that. That looks winning. Yeah, because I'm having king h8. That's the point. And takes, and in the end of the day, he loses a rook, which is winning for me. So now we have rook to d8, and after rook d8, how can I play? Can I take the rook, sack the queen, and give a check? And that's a mate, right? That's a mate for sure. So you see, that's how you play. That's how you play. 41 with no losses. Okay, so we have g6. So starting with checks, I can take this pawn. The king will capture the rook. And are there any checks available? I'm having queen b2 check, even queen d4 check, but the king goes somewhere, and I don't see an absolute win in that particular position. Can I capture the queen? That looks like a fine move to me. I'm winning the queen. Am I not? I can capture the queen, takes, and king g7. That looks winning. King g7, he's having check. He's having a check. I can even push the pawn maybe. Now push the pawn is not working. Okay, let's think. If king g7 rook check, king goes somewhere and he can play the king rook over here. If king f7, then what? He can give a check and put the bishop over here maybe. Can't I play anything and that's winning because the rook controls the square? I think king g7 is a necessary move because to stop this, with the idea of king h8, and that's winning. Yeah, that's winning for sure. So now we have king g4, and once again trying to think, is there any fourth way to mate the opponent? I'm having f5, h5, 2 checks available in the position. Even rook g3 check or maybe even rook d4 checks are available. If I try to play f5 check, he's having king h5, and is there any particular way to mate him? Though I don't see any concrete way to mate him. I can play h5, but he can take the bishop. That's a no-brainer. I can play f5. The king goes to h5. I can take the pawn maybe over here and move the knight, and that's a mate. Because he is not really mating us anytime soon. So yeah, that looks winning to me. Yeah. Can I move? Can I play anything in that? Okay, rook h3, yeah, because h2 is covered by the queen. So that's why rook h3, and that's winning. Yeah, that's winning. Wow, I solved it pretty easily. Yeah. So knight to h5, starting with checks. Rook g7 check. The king goes over here, and I think rook g8 check, and that's a mate. He has to take, and that's a mate. Yeah. Yeah, that's winning. Okay, so d5. So I can give a check, the king goes over here, check, the king goes over here, and that's the mate. Yeah, this is a simple mate. So okay, black pushes the pawn, and now how can we play? I can take the pawn, which is one way to play. Another way is to play maybe just sack the queen, and that's a mate, right? That's a forced mate on d8, and that's game over. So I'd push the pawn to g5, thinking of another way to mate the opponent. Can I mate the opponent anyhow? I'm having some checks available in these types of position. I can play queen b6 check. The king goes to some sort of light square, I don't know. Which is looking fine to me. Another way to me is looking like bishop in g5, which also looks pretty fine to me. But what is the idea? I don't see a concrete idea. And that's the only reason I don't really want to play the move. Maybe queen b6 check, but king h1, and I don't see the continuation. I can take, but nothing is happening. And that's the main problem. Maybe bishop g5 looks the right way. Bishop g5, what will he play? I don't see. Like bishop g5, I can take the rook. Yeah, maybe, yeah. He can take the rook, I can't take because the bishop is hanging. So first I must take the rook, and then I should take the pawn. That looks like the right continuation to me, yeah. That's winning, yeah. I'm a pawn up with his king being the weak. So I'm having good chances to win the game, yeah. Practically speaking. So rook e1, pinning up the bishop. If he protects it, I'm having f4. So once again, that looks winning to me. Shall I just play f4 and just take the bishop? Yeah. f4. Okay, so how can I play the position? Rook g3 is a check that is available for sure. King g3, queen e3, rook f3. And I don't see the win. Okay. Another way. Can I capture the pawn? He can play rook f3, but I'm having this. He can play queen f2 as well, but I'm still having rook g2, which looks winning to me. Rook g2, and I'm just having the queen for the rook, and that's winning. So queen goes to a1, a8, and giving a check. So I'm having rook f8, but that would be a mate, yeah? Like the queen is going back, but that doesn't make any sense. King g7, rook gives a check. I have to move the king somewhere. To be true, not sure. Maybe king h6. The queen can give a check, but the bishop goes back, or even the rook can come in between. And that looks winning to me. King g7. Okay, the queen can also go back. That's the move that I've missed. And how to play now? King f8, the queen will simply like to repeat the position. I can play the move king h6, but that would be a check. Yeah. It's hard a bit. It's a bit hard. It's a bit tricky. I can put the king over here, the bishop over here, which also makes some sense. I can put the king over here. That would be a check. And if I try to go here, another check, and I can safeguard my king. But that doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Can I play something? Any interesting move in the position? King f6, queen f3 check, king e6. You can give a check. I'm having bishop e5. Check, check. Yeah, and I have to go back once again. Okay, the position is for sure very tricky. It's not that much easy. Need to think hard. Okay, king h6 is a draw. I kind of have to repeat that. King f8, he will give a check. And once again, the king at g7. I think king f6. King e6 is having a check. So that also doesn't make sense. Then I can go up actually. That may make some sense. Maybe some sense. If I try to play king e5 directly, then what's happening? He's not really having checks. He can give a check. And I have to move my king once again back. Yeah. Can I go king g6? No, king g6 doesn't make sense. I want to play king e6, but he's having a check. Forcing my king to go back once again, and he can give a check once again. So maybe king e5? Maybe king e5. And then where's the check? I don't see a check. Maybe queen g3. Okay, queen e3 check is a check. King f5. And then what? Then how to play? King g5 is also a move. Queen g3 check. King h5. Another check. And that looks like a draw. Like I think both the moves kind of leads to the same variation. Isn't it true? King e5, he's having queen e3. King f5, he's having queen f3. King e6. But he's still having this. What's the difference? King e6, he's having a check on c6. I have to move my king somewhere. King f5 or even king e5. If king e5, he's having... Wait a minute. Check king e5, then what? King e5 maybe? Queen c5? But then I can save my king, I believe. Yeah, wow, that was the right variation, yeah. a7, okay. a7. So we have cross 50 puzzles pretty easily without much stress. So we have a7. How can we play the position? Let's see. So a7. What is the idea? He wants to make the queen, but we can take it. And okay, how to play? How to play the position? Maybe we can play the queen over here. Not sure. Not sure. How to continue the position? Even I'm not sure. Not so easy position, to be very true. To be very frank. How to even play the position? Shall I just push the pawn over here? Can I take? But the queen will take with a check. Can I capture anything? That's the only pawn I can capture. Can I pose any threats? To be very frank, I don't see any threats. How shall I even play? I don't know, maybe queen over here. Oh wow. Okay, this puzzle is just wow. How to play? I want to push the pawn. Because once my pawn reaches f3, that should be winning. But I need to cover the squares. So maybe queen c6. And that was wrong. So rook d8. And how to play? Okay, to be true, my brain is just all tied up. I just need to make some moves. Queen e6 maybe? No. Knight g3. Can I play f4 here? Maybe f4. And I can take over here. Okay, the rook is hanging for now, so I can't really take over here. I can play rook f3. Maybe c4 and take knight g2 and take then. And then take that. That makes sense. Rook f3 and that's winning, yeah. So rook goes over here. And now I can play rook h3 maybe. With the idea of even, I don't know. Rook h4. Check. And that's mate, yeah. The king goes over here. I can push the pawn. The king goes over here. I can put the king over here. Maybe that's winning. Maybe not. To be true, not pretty sure. Maybe I thought f5 was winning, but okay, it was hard, yeah. Okay, let's try to understand where did we went wrong. First of all, this puzzle was just insane. It's very hard to find a good move. Like, there were many candidates move in the position. I wanted to play as many moves as possible, but I don't see a good way. I need to use I know I need to move the queen, but where? Queen over here. What's the idea? What is the idea? What? Oh wow, it's a zugzwang. His all pieces are kind of paralyzed. He can't move anything. Wow, this puzzle was just a mind-blowing puzzle, yeah, for sure. Another puzzle. To be true, I did not took that much time in this particular puzzle. It's a hard puzzle. Starting with checks. Checks working, not checks not working. Like there are two checks, but checks are not working for sure. Captures working up. I don't see any captures. Like the thread looks like queen e6, but queen e6 was already wrong. What should be the move in the position? Rook c7 or something? Wow, rook c7 was the move. Kind of a threat. Yeah, bishop f5, we take the knight and that's winning, yeah. Once again, it was a bit tough. It was a bit tough. The king was over here, and I was thinking g5, which was wrong. Maybe bishop e6. Nah. What could be the move in the position? It's hard to find a move. Bishop h5? Okay, give me a hint. I need to move my king. Wow, that's insane. That's insane. How can anyone in the world can play king h5 with the idea of g5 and that's a mate? I thought f5 with the idea of g5. That also looks like a mate. But again, never mind. Never mind. It was fun. It was fun. So we basically solved 52 puzzles, so which was very much fun. So I believe that you guys must have enjoyed the video. And if you did, then make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. Yeah. So yeah, puzzles are really the best way to improve your chess calculation and tactics. These puzzles can eventually help you to find some good calculation and tactics in your game. So try to solve as many as possible. So I hope that this was very much fun. If you liked it, enjoyed it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to see you soon with more interesting chess content like these. So thank you for watching. I'm going to see you soon. Bye bye.